Welcome to Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hey everybody, it's Randy Goodman here from Harvey Callis Real Estate, and I am super excited to have Wilma David here, who is an alternative healing practitioner, and I can't wait to hear all about that. So thank you, Wilma, for being with me.
Thank you, Randy, for inviting me to your show, and I'm so excited. So it's my honor.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, tell us, who is Wilma? What are you passionate about?
Wilma is very passionate about helping people heal naturally. As I said, right now, a lot of people are easy to Google, self-medicating themselves, because right now, the access to the internet is posing a lot of danger for people just Googling and then going to the store, the pharmacy, just to buy medication without even knowing what's the cause or the symptoms, right? So I'm very much passionate about educating and teaching people how to heal in a natural way, because a lot of people right now are, especially with this pandemic, are taking medications just for the sake of just sleeping, for the just sake of calming down because of anxiety, right? So I'm really much passionate of a more holistic or organic approach for healing some issues, whether it's mental, emotional, or spiritual, or physical.
Okay. I love that. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to share here. It's not letting me share on your timeline, so you're going to have to do that part. I'll just share everywhere else.
Yes, but, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so tell us, how do you help people? What exactly what are your services? How do you actually help people so they understand what it is that you do?
Well, first of all, I'm gifted with it. I was born with a very strong healing and psychic ability since I was a child.
Okay.
So I started to heal people on a natural way since I was 7 years old. Wow. So I really have this clairvoyant, psychic plus healing abilities that I inherited in my culture, right? And then on top of that, I studied chemical engineering. So as an engineer, wow. Here in Toronto, I work with scientists, doctors, and researchers. Okay. So along the way, working with these multinational pharmaceutical companies, mm-hmm. I learned so many things about how drugs are made, right? And in my experience working in this industry for 15 years, it's very good to use these medical prescriptions for a good reason. Of course, it helps patients and clients, but at the same time, there's also an alternative way to cure different kinds of issues. Right. So from my engineering experience from the pharmaceutical, I said it challenged me. I want to do this more in a holistic way, because the pharmaceutical, they're good, but somehow long-term they have side effects, as we know, right? It's because drugs are made of chemicals and all these things.
Right.
So, and then I became passionate about moving to a different direction, is because the universe told me, or God, Wilma, you have a gift. You've been healing people since you were young, right? And then switching career. So also I switched career to being an entrepreneur, and at the same time doing a lot of health and wellness. Okay. So from an engineer, I wrote a book with Les Brown, and it's about getting off drugs. Not necessarily taking out of it if it's prescribed by a medical practitioner, but getting out of it slowly, right? Wow. And then I was triggered by a lot of my clients benefiting from a natural approach. Right. Then I started to develop more of my career. So I studied neuro-linguistic psychology, I studied quantum, I studied metaphysics, I studied Reiki, I studied theta healing, and archangel healing. So all these different modalities that I learned, I was able to help I think more than 1,000 clients with their mental, emotional, physical, because a lot of people, they are experiencing different kinds of diseases, but it comes from how the mind thinks. Because remember, it's mind, body, and soul, right? So if one of them is not aligned, then it manifests either in the mind or in the body, right?
Right.
So in my practice, I've been coaching people transforming their lives and calibrating the mind, the body, and the soul. The soul part, that can be done through quantum or metaphysics, and the mind, it can be done through the neuro-linguistic psychology, let's say limiting beliefs or those patterns. And the body, I use a natural healing modality called like theta healing or Reiki healing or energy healing. So I infuse, it's kind of like a hybrid. Right. So I hybrid all those healing modalities.
Wow.
And so far, I've been able to heal people remotely. During the pandemic, I was crazy busy because this energy is remote. It's also powerful because everything is vibration and frequency, right? So, and so far I'm able to, I can't count them anymore, like really helping people in the mental, emotional, whatever. It's customized, actually. It's customized. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? It's incredible because, you found this natural gift within yourself and you wanted to expand on that, but you didn't just say, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. You decided, no, I'm going to take that gift of mine and I'm going to expand my knowledge. So I'm going to invest in myself and become better, or the best I can possibly be, using my tool. But what other tools can I bring in that I don't know of to, add credibility, to add value, to add expertise? So, I love that you have, just, you totally dove, you totally committed to.
I am very passionate about it.
Yeah. So that really shows, especially what you just shared with us. I'm very grateful for you and for people who really dive in to get, be the best at their practice. And everybody says they're an expert, right? But,
yes, absolutely.
How are you an expert? Are you an expert just because you did it for 25 years, or did you actually go deeper, right? And, and try to elevate yourself? And, an experience is the best, of course.
Exactly.
But by adding so much to it that you've done, you've truly elevated yourself and raised your bar and raised yourself above others who might call themselves similar things, right? But you've really elevated that to the point where you can really truly help people. They might think, well, I don't need that, but then there's so many other modalities that you can tap into to help them. So I love that. And so tell us, like, okay, so you said that, you're an engineer in this, and, it just kind of evolved because you found that you were really good at this. Did you know that you had this talent when you were a child?
Yes, actually, Randy, this is an interesting story that I'm always excited to share to the audience. Please. Because they always tell me, Wilma, how did you get that gift that you are healing remotely? Or how do you astrally travel? Because you're soul traveler, right? And if I may share, allow me to share with the audience as well. When I was born, when my mother was about to give birth to me, and there was like a cosmic interference. At that time, in the 70s, my father doesn't have any transportation yet, right? Okay. So my mom was about to give birth to me, and then there was a massive transportation strike. So there's no vehicle. So my father was found out a horse with a carriage, right? So my mother went to that horse, and then it seems like the horse is feeling the frequency of my mother, that I was in her womb, right? So the horse was acting crazy, like, how in the movies the horse is getting wild. Right. And then it feels like the energy or the universe or the cosmic is sensing that somebody is coming out with a very strong power, right?
Right.
And then, anyway, they made it to the hospital. So when my mother was in the operating room, there was a power blackout. There was no power in the whole village. Right?
Wow.
And then by the time the power came back, or the generator, um, the surgeon went to my father and said, like, Mr. David, there's 50-50 chance. Either I survive, my mother survive, or both of us will not survive. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And then my father asked why. And I'm standing feet first in my mother's womb, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much in a bridge position. So my feet is standing.
Right.
And at the time, in the early days, C-section, not unlike here in the modern, in the Western, like C-section is right away they do for bridge position, right? But then that time I was born feet first. I came out with feet first.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, and I was like
Wow.
plumb. So like imagine the pressure of my mother and me not being strangled because I came out feet first, right? So in our Asian culture, in our belief, even if you Google it right now, if you are born with a feet first, you're a gifted healer, right? Yeah,
Wow.
and you can see philosophers if you Google
Really?
it, born feet first, and then you're a gifted healer. So
Okay.
anyway, so when people knew I was born that way, as soon as I came out and my mother was out of the operating room, or after recovery, everybody's rejoicing in the family because like we have a healer, we have a healer. So,
so they already set you up from birth.
Yes, pretty much the whole village like know that I was a healer. So as early as 7 years old,
so funny.
people started to come to our house for me to heal them.
Really?
And at that time, I don't understand. I asked my parents, what am I doing? And I keep asking my parents, what am I doing?
Right.
So what happened is like, just hold them, And every time people would come to our home, let's say, I think my very first client at 7 years old was an old lady in our village, and she was choking with a fishbone.
Oh,
fishbone.
No.
And then so at that time, before they can go to the doctor, they believe in natural healing. So they brought this lady into our house, right?
Yeah.
So as I was 7, and I said, like, what am I gonna do, right? So anyway, I just touched her throat like this, and then I just closed my eyes, and then suddenly, like probably in 7 minutes, she was okay, right? So they believe that I'm doing miracles for them, which at the young age, I don't even know what I'm doing, right?
Right.
So anyway, so at that young age, I know that I'm not normal because I see things that not normal people can see, right?
Yep.
And at that young age, my favorite pastime is to sit under a tree. Flowers. I make garlands of flowers, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And that was the first time I saw an angel, a real angel in my physical eyes under a tree, right?
Okay.
So I told my parents, I've seen an angel. I've seen it. I said, where? Here. But they don't see it. Only me can see it, right?
Right.
So anyway, so I grew up all with these gifted psychic abilities. So it feels like I'm not normal because I'm seeing things in my third eye that I see a fairy, I see this, right? And then I heal people, right? So it's kind of hard to understand when you were a kid or when you were young, right? So and then when I was going up to high school, I thought I don't like this anymore. I just want to be a normal teenager.
Okay.
Normal
Fairy, go away.
Exactly. Said no more healing, no more people coming to our house. I will just do it for relatives or family, right?
Right.
So anyway, then I decided to at that time to pursue engineering because the whole family, my siblings are all engineers. So I said, okay, since I like science, so let me do chemical engineering, right? So and then but still people know me as someone who has a gift and as a healer. So anyway, I said, okay, I just want to move to a country where nobody knows me. So anyway,
they can't ask me to heal them.
Yeah, it is because it's a gift, but sometimes it's complicated, right? Because when you have psychic abilities, then you see a lot of things. The vibration is too much, right? So anyway, so that's why when I migrated here to Canada, the very first work I had was in the pharmacy. So I was working as a pharmacy assistant, right? So I've seen a lot of patients, and then I see people that coming. You know, I became attached to the patients because like you feel happy that you are not the one having the medication. So I had that compassion of helping the patients in the pharmacy. So, but then because I'm an engineer, so I was like, okay, I want to know how drugs are made. You know, how drugs are made.
Right.
So after working 2 years in the pharmacy, I said, I really wanted to see on my own eyes how drugs are made.
Right.
So then just in time, this huge pharmaceutical company ended up hiring me to work in the research of drugs, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I get involved about many things about science and how to help people heal. And but after 15 years of working in the pharmaceutical, I just realized like, you know, my conscience is bothering me is because like I know that there are side effects in there. It's good for let's say for people who are having surgery to take some pain medication, right? But for long term, I know that there are side effects. So now my conscience bothered me, you know, like well, let's say God or the universe is like, Wilma, you have a gift, you know, why are you betraying your gift?
Right, right, right.
So when I left the corporate as a chemical engineer, and then I wrote a book with Les Brown, you know, and it's about getting off drugs, right?
Okay.
So and then after that, then I slowly switched to natural health and wellness, which as an entrepreneur as well, I'm involved with crystals, you know, other natural products that I recommend to my clients on top of my healing abilities.
Right.
So now it compounded. Then I studied here, as I said, neuro-linguistic psychology. So
Right.
and plus all those different modalities. So it's hybrid, you know, inborn plus the education plus the experience of helping people. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's my story. How I became healing people.
I have a question for you. Like, as you said, like, since you were 7, your parents had people come, you know, family or whoever. But were they actually paying you, or was it just doing it like they were?
No, that time, no. Obviously, I'm just doing it because of a natural healing ability. And then, actually, in fact, that was my question. When I was stubborn because when I quit my corporate as an engineer, as a chemical engineer, the first thing I asked, how will I asked God, you know, how will I survive as a healer? You know, is there money in healing? Right? That's my first question, right? And then I work back and activate. Actually, I did not even listen to the universe. I was stubborn. So, and when I left the corporate, my parents said me, why don't you go back home? Because all my family is back home, right? And I'm the only one here. So they said, why don't you just go back home? And said, how you quit, then how are you gonna make money, right? And then I still did not listen. So I put up a company here, like similar to the business back home that we have. I put up a manpower agency, right? So I had it for 3 years, and then I was supplying people in the airport, like labor jobs to people. So I had that for 3 years, right? And obviously it was a good money, right? But God gave me something, like hammered me. Okay, I like a manifestation that you have to sell the business, right? So I sold that business about 2 years ago. I sold that business. And then after that, I receive a lot of downloads through my psychic abilities, the frequency and everything in my dreams that I have to go back to healing, right? And then that's the time I try to heal every areas of my life. And then I said, I will totally surrender. So if it's just the money that I'm thinking, you provide it for me because you asked me to go back to healing, right?
You give it to me.
Exactly. So from then on until now, I didn't even advertise much. I had one client, then it went back to another client, then the whole family, and then the friends and the friends. And So
It just
that
goes from there.
exactly. So now I don't even have to worry because they can you heal? They come back regularly. You know,
Right.
let's say having a
So,
haircut. I want to come back next month. Come back.
so Wilma, like, what would be going on in someone's life where they should reach out to you? Like, what's happening with them? How do they know that they're the right person to call you?
Mhm. Right now, I have clients from 1 year old to 92 years old, right? And I customize my healing depending on their issues. I coach if they have physical problem, I can help. If they have emotional problem, I have a lot of clients right now that are bipolar. They have ADHD.
Right.
They have like up and down, up and down mood swings.
Mm-hmm.
I have clients who are, let's say, they have like postpartum depression.
Okay.
I have clients who have spiritual issues that they are not connected to their mind, body, and
Right.
soul.
Yeah.
And I have clients who are about relationship, you know, healing trauma. People who got divorced that they wanted to get rid of those pain.
Yep.
And I have people who are having pains physically like arthritis or diabetes. So it's really customized is because, like as I said, more than my gift is because I am connected to the source, to
Right.
the higher
Right.
God. Because as an angelic, by the way, this I'm a certified angelic healing practitioner.
Okay.
So this certification is issued by the International Association of Therapists, right? So they won't certify you like as an angelic healing practitioner until they have proven you have that gift.
Okay.
And if you ask me how, they send me beta, it's like a thesis. They send me beta clients. So they document from day one that they send me this client after 2 months and after 3 months without using any other medications.
Right.
You know, it's like a beta test just using natural healing,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So after that, then I pass all those exams, and then then they certify me as an angelic healing practitioner,
Okay.
right?
Congrats.
So that is something that I am really truly humbled to have that gift, right?
Right. Yeah.
And if you ask me, like during the COVID season, I was it was extremely busy for me because
Right.
one of my gift is I love soul traveling. I soul travel,
Mhm.
right? So
Okay.
it doesn't matter to me if you are there in your home, I can heal you remotely even if you're home. Or I have clients in UK, in Europe, in Asia, or in the US, right? It is because all these are energy and vibration,
Right.
right? And it's a combination of the gift plus because of my science background, I'm able to interpret as well with what's going on with the person.
Yep.
And basically because when I was working in the pharmaceutical industry, I've done a lot of clinical trials working with doctors and scientists, right?
Yeah.
So heavily exposed, I was working in a giant pharmaceutical companies and we were making drugs for ADHD and depression, right?
Yeah.
So obviously when you work with scientists, when you try to make a drugs for this kind of patient, you study the behavior of the patient, right?
Right.
Because this way you can know what kind of synthesis you will make in the drugs, right?
Yeah.
So all these things compounded together. So that's why when I am really coaching or like helping my clients, I look into the three, the mind, body, and soul. So where is your problem? You are, let's say, physically sick right now because of your mental. Let's say maybe you are overthinking, you are anxious, so now you're having spasm and hyperacidity, right? Or let's say they ask me, Wilma, I'm not manifesting financial. I have a financial blockage,
Right.
right?
Right.
And they don't understand why they are manifesting, right? And I said, well, you're not manifesting because on the soul level, let's say you have past life karma, you know, your past
Right.
life. It's not
Right.
about you or um, anything. You maybe have a curse, maybe
Right. Right.
or a spell or
Right.
somebody put you ill wishes, right?
Right.
And these are metaphysical. You know, it's a different base of
Right.
science. It's metaphysical, right?
Okay.
So
So,
that's why when I am working with my clients, I really customize it. You know,
right.
let's say you're having I have a client right now that I'm working. One of her eyes is getting blind. She has only like 20% of vision, right?
Yep.
And then she told me, Wilma, at the end of September, I'll be having a surgery because one of my left eye is only 20% vision.
Right.
But she's my client already. But I said, you know what? Don't go for surgery. Go another test before your actual surgery. Let me help you heal your eye problem.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So it turned out that she's having blindness in her left eye is because of the fear of the abuse from the partner relationship issue, right? So she doesn't want to face the abuse, so she's just dealing with it, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So her emotional stress is causing her eye to get blind,
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I told her, you know what? Let's deal with the abuse because this is the one that's causing you the blindness. You don't need an eye surgery. So I was doing healing with her, and in 1 day or 2 days, her vision went up from 20 to 5%, right?
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
each day I said, how's your vision right now, right?
Yeah.
So, and I said, just before a month from now, obviously, when you deal with your abuse, you don't need to have a surgery, right? So those things that I'm able to help my clients.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, Wilma, that you know, people just don't think about physical ailments having a psychological, you know, the result of something psychological or something environmental, you know, or something in a relationship. They don't realize how it can affect us physically. Like diseases, 80% of them are caused by stress and whatnot. So, you know, I love that. So anybody out there should be thinking like, what do you have going on? And is this something that Wilma can help you with? And I would definitely reach out to her for that because we have no idea what we could release that could also clear any ailments that we have, skin issues, anything, right? So Wilma, can you give us quickly, because we only have a few minutes left, can you give us quickly like some tips or suggestions, anything that's resonating with you right now personally or professionally that you want to share with us?
Number one is like you have to learn to protect your energy, right? Because right now a lot of people are easily attracted to negative energy, and that negative energy is really making a big impact, although you may not see it, but energy you cannot see, but you can feel, right? So it's really very important to be mindful of your energy, right? What you attract and how you repel on it, you know, especially when you're surrounded with the, you know, not the same vibration as you are, or as is there like maybe toxic people or negative energy, right? And at the end of the day, it sucks you. You know, you feel tired, you feel uptight, you feel like you have difficulty breathing, right? So right now, regardless of what age you are, whether you're a kid or an adult or a teenager, I always tell them, you know what, be mindful of protecting your energy, right? Because it's something that you can control yourself, right? Reaction is you can control. A lot of people are reacting negatively. You know, let's say, for example, in any situation, they would react into fear, or they might be so impulsive, you know, they will resort to anger, right? So I always tell my client, in order for this not to cling on you, you have to be mindful of your energy. And you always have to ground yourself. Grounding means like you always have time to see if what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're doing are all congruent, because it's mind, body, and soul, right? And right now, I think I would emphasize not just to adult to have time to really just meditate, even where you are, even like when you're taking a shower, just meditate. You release those negatives, you know, and then have a clear mind, especially when you wake up in the morning, because that's the big factor. You know, when you wake up in the morning, if you're already cluttered, and obviously the whole day is already like, it seems like I haven't done anything. Right? So I think that's the best advice with the limited time. Protect your energy. You know, it's very important. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And how do people, like, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
It's easy. My website is www.wilmaangel.com. So it's just one word, wilmaangel.com. So they can subscribe in there. My email address is there, and my phone number is there, so they can reach out to me by text, by Facebook, by Instagram, or by LinkedIn, or any social media. Yeah.
So I forgot one question that I wanted to ask you, so give us the short answer for it. But I know it's really important for you to give back to society as well. So can you tell us, because I love when people can see that you're good-hearted. I mean, it's obvious that you're good-hearted, but I like them to know a little bit about what do you do to give back?
There's many ways to give back. You know, every day I always make it a point that I check someone. Are you okay? You know, are you doing okay? How are you feeling today? Right? And aside from the monetary charity that you give to other people or other organizations that's similar to your upcoming gala, you know, we give some monetary donations as a charity, but at the same time, I also like provide complimentary sessions to my client. You know, not right away I charge them. No, you know, I try to give them like education first, what I do, how can I help you, right? And again, a simple thing as checking out somebody in a day. If somebody crossed in your mind randomly by telepathy, you thought of the person, check that person, right? Because that person may be needing some help all the time. And it's very strong, right? You might think. So that one is also doing
pop in, do it.
Pops in, yeah. That means it's sending you a vibration. So there's nothing harm doing a charity just to check how are you doing. Maybe this person needs some comfort or needs some compassion or empathy, right? So that is also a form of charity, right? So I think everybody should do that. Do some charitable work that is coming from the heart, whether it's a good deed or monetary or participating in something volunteer. Or like what you're doing, you are educating people, right? So that's a big form of charity, because every day, every schedule you spend half an hour or 1 hour. That means you're expanding the knowledge of the collective. You know, it's not just me and you. So that's a very good form of doing charity as well, because you're sharing your knowledge, your expertise, right?
Perfect. I love it. Thank you. So tell us again your website.
It's www.wilmaangel.com.
WilmaAngel.com. So please reach out to Wilma. I know she'd be more than happy to connect with you. And thank you, Wilma, so much.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste.
You enlightened me huge. So
yes. And I appreciate, I know you have a big followers as well, and somebody might be really needing some help. You never know. Everybody's going through something. Nobody's perfect, right? So importantly, there are guides that can somehow be there for them if they need it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you again. Have a nice day.
Okay, you too. And we'll see you guys soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.